Let's go! Guys, I want to talk about Bitcoin today, and are we about to see that W pattern break out? Well, so far it seems like we did get a small rejection, so maybe we're going to make a new try for that neckline right here. So I'm going to talk about that, but I want to spend most of this video actually talking about the on-chain data right here, because this paints a very clear picture about what's going on in the markets right now. So you will want to stick around for this. Welcome back, everybody. My name is Cristiano, bringing you cryptocurrency videos every day, teaching you how to make money in this market. If you are new to this channel, then make sure to subscribe and activate the bell right now. And with that said, guys, let's get straight into Bitcoin. And you can see that the W pattern, in which we talked about previously in my previous video from today, we didn't manage to break this neckline so far. But maybe we are going to make a new try, because if you watch the price action right now, you can see that we've had a pump here to 35,361. So this was the local high here of this particular run here from $30,000. And since then, we have actually had a rejection here. We went down all the way to 33,800 before having another pump. So we will see, guys, are we able to get some more momentum here and maybe break through this level? Well, my short-term kind of thoughts right now is just like I told you about in my previous video, that I think that the cluster here is going to be vital resistance. And if I had to take a bet, I would say that, yeah, we are probably not going to break this today. We're probably going to go sideways for a bit before making a new push for it. Because you have my blue line, you also have the 200 and the 100 for hourly moving averages going down here. So yeah, so far it was a good decision to take profit on that trade we had. Of course, the Bitcoin I bought for my hodl position, or the Bitcoin I bought to never be sold, I'm still holding that. But as a trade, I think that this is going to be some serious resistance to try to break through. But there's another thing I want to talk about, and you know that every now and then I like to talk about some on-chain data, and yeah, that is what we are going to do today. So on this particular on-chain data chart, what we are watching are the short-term versus the long-term holders of Bitcoin. And what you can see, this is a little bit kind of confusing at first. So what you got here is the distribution of Bitcoin, and you got the long-term holders, and it is the blue here, and this is in dark blue if they are in profit. If the long-term holders are at a loss, you got the small little light blue, and you can see that this also reinforces the belief that holding Bitcoin is long-term going to be good. But on the contrary, what you're seeing also is the short time frame profit and loss, and the dark red is the short time frame holders who are at a profit, and the light red is the short-term holders who are at a loss. And short-term, I think that is if you've been holding it for less than 6 months or less than 1 year. But what we can see here is that with everything that's been going on, with Bitcoin going down to $30,000, and look, we're watching the whole supply of Bitcoin here. And the interesting thing is that during this time period, when the whales have been doing everything they can to try to spook people, they are trying to get you to sell your Bitcoin as low as possible so they can scoop it up. Well, you're seeing here that the short-term holders, they are panicking. They are selling, left and right. But the long-term holders, they are now increasing. So the Bitcoin is being transferred from the short-term holders to the long-term holders. So the long-term holders, they're actually accumulating right here. So it paints it very clear, because you can see that the blue one is increasing as the red area here is decreasing. And let's continue. So let's look at younger coins, which are younger than 1 year. And we can see that out of all of the transactions on the Bitcoin network right now, you can see that most coins are actually in between one day to 1 week old. You can see it split up right here. So most coins that are being transacted right now in the midst of the drops and everything that's going on, Most of these coins are only 1 day to 1 week old. You can see it go down here. So the people who entered during this bull run, they are now starting to sell. They are now starting to panic. And in general, they bought during the first months of 2021 and at the euphoric top, and they sold in panic at capitulation at a loss. And I will show you this here in a bit as well. But let's continue. Let's instead look at the coins which are older than 1 year. So the coins which are older than 1 year up to 10 years. And you can see that this is actually being reduced. So the holders with long-term holdings of Bitcoin, they are not transacting as much. You see this peak right here. So this is the people who have been holding for many, many years. And when we were at the beginning of the bull market at $8,000, of course, many of these had been holding since 2017, maybe even longer. And, you know, they take some off the table once we reach our previous all-time high at $20,000. Of course, they start to take profit as well. So overall, you can see that with the coins, which are very old, you're seeing decreased activity. So again, Bitcoin is being transferred from the people who recently got into crypto back into the hands of the holders. And you can also tell this by the sentiment in the market, because as soon as Bitcoin started to go down, as soon as we saw that, crash down to $30,000, people just became so negative, extremely negative. But let's continue. So we already know that mining is moving out of China, and you're seeing this by the drop in hash rate by 16%. So that is absolutely true. But one important thing to note here is that miners are also selling Bitcoin. But look at this. These are the balances on OTC desks. What is an OTC desk? Well, that is a desk where they sell Bitcoin out of the market, basically. So if I wanted to buy 10,000 Bitcoin, I'm not going to go to Binance or Coinbase and just press, buy with 10 billion worth of Bitcoin or whatever. If I want to buy that, instead I go to an OTC desk. I tell them, hey, I want to buy 10,000 Bitcoin. Try to get these for me. And you can see that you did see inflows of Bitcoin into the OTC desks in May, 3,500 Bitcoin, but it got scooped up, and you can see the transaction moving out here. So 3,500 Bitcoin in, 3,000 Bitcoin out. You can see the same thing here in June, 3,000 Bitcoin in, and the balance increases, and someone is buying that and transferring it out of the OTC desk. So who are in the nose and who is buying the Bitcoin when everyone are panicking? That's a question to you. And also the funding rate is very important to pay attention to, but I'm not going to get into the funding rate right now. But what I will tell you is that during June, you actually saw the biggest capitulation candle in history. We had never seen so much Bitcoin being sold at a loss. Again, this means that market participants who entered into the crypto space very recently, they were now selling at extreme loss. And when they're selling at extreme loss, who do you think is scooping that up? Of course, whales, institutions, and so on. And you can see this also on the OTC chart right here. People are panicking. They are, selling it right into the hands of these people. And they're also buying it from the OTC desks, as evidented there. So yeah, that's basically what I wanted to cover, guys. I just wanted to give you an on-chain explanation and show you how Bitcoin is moving from the people who recently got into crypto, let's say the last 6 months, and it's getting right into the hands of the holders. It's getting right into the hands of the institutions and the whales who are trying to move the markets. This is why I'm saying, sure, maybe we go even lower. No one knows. No one has a crystal ball. But getting Bitcoin at $30,000 is much better than buying it at $60,000. I can tell you that. And I also remember that I was the one telling the same people who were calling me a fool for buying at $30,000. I was telling them to be cautious of getting in here at $65,000. Thank you so much for watching this video, guys. I hope that you enjoyed it, and I will see you in the next one.